Hello, everyone. I am Olympic gold medalist Shannon Miller, and I am here with my friend, Miss Valerie Condos-Field. She is UCLA head coach of women's gymnastics, also affectionately known as Miss Val. 6-time national champions, incredible history, incredible career. We'll hear her more about what you're doing. We're going to talk a lot about gymnastics, and we have an exciting announcement today.
I am so excited. I have been waiting for this for weeks to announce this.
We are so excited. So we're glad you're joining us. We are excited to announce
Wait. Let's cue drum roll. Can we cue drum roll?
I think we have to do our own
drum roll. I'll do the drum roll.
We didn't have the announcement.
We don't have a budget for drum roll.
Okay. You drum roll.
I'm going to drum roll. Ready?
Introducing, yes, Jump, Jive, and Thrive. Actually, this is a really amazing show. It's going to be Saturday, October 21st. It is incredible on CBS, but it's incredible. It is a collection of musicians, gymnastics, dancers, and the main goal is to celebrate and honor all of those cancer survivors and thrivers that are out there today.
And I don't know if you know this, but one thing that Shannon and I do share in common is that we're both cancer survivors and thrivers, and we've had a lovely conversation about how amazing it is to get through this and to thrive every day. Literally opens up in living color for us.
It is, every day is a new celebration, and you really learn to appreciate every moment.
Every moment.
To the fullest.
And you know, and the flip side of that coin is you kind of stop worrying about what people think.
That's right.
And you stop worrying about what they put on social media about you, and you stop worrying about all that because you're just
good.
It's great.
Yes.
Life is amazing.
Less to worry about and more living to do, and that's what we're celebrating with the show. We're going to talk more about that coming up, but right now we have all kinds of guests ready to bring on. We're very excited. You never know who's going to show up, but right now I see waiting in the wings Miss Mary Lee Tracy.
Come on out.
Hello.
Hi, friend.
Hi. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
So some of you weren't born yet when I competed, much less when we were together. But Mary, we have laughter from the audience.
A laugh track.
So Mary Lee Tracy, head coach during my team, the Magnificent Seven, in 1996. Also, you've been an Olympic coach 3 times now?
Yes.
Incredible,
That is incredible.
Run.
Thank you.
3-time Olympics.
It's just fun reproducing strong women generation after generation, and here's a prime example right here with us.
And you kind of figured out how to do that well.
I get better at it as I get older.
Isn't that great?
Yes, it is, and it's fun watching these ladies go on and do gymnastics, own their clubs, and then they start producing great, strong women, and it just keeps going.
We know what's wonderful, and the thing that I look back to, whether it's the challenge of cancer, the challenge of anything in life, I learned all of those great life lessons through gymnastics, through coaches like you who really helped me understand what life was about, not just in sport, but beyond.
Yes, and the thing about sport that ties into it is the time management.
Yes.
The discipline, the commitment to excellence, and that's life lessons, true life lessons. Even though it's a little cliche, it's a fact, and you watch it continue to produce strong women, and that's really what I think it's all about.
That's fantastic.
You know, you said that you're getting better as you're getting older and doing this, and you had such amazing success. How can you get better? Like, what are you doing that makes you say you're getting better?
You keep learning, Val. I mean, you know yourself, each generation of women teach me something that the last generation didn't teach me. So I get better with how to deal and teach different personalities, different types. One of the things that you're an expert at.
Thank you.
So a little bit of a late moment. So if you guys go back and you watch the Olympics from 1996, you're not going to see this on television. So we're in a back gym. This is the funniest story. So we're in the back gym. Mary Lee's head coach. She's never spotted me on moves before. If you followed my career, you know the double layout took me about, 11 years to learn, just a really long time. And Mary Lee's coaching me and whiffs me on a double layout, land on my face.
Pretty much on your face.
Oh, right on my face, right before the Olympics. That was great. Thank you.
I was very nervous about spotting Shannon Miller on a double layout. I didn't know whether to bump her hard, bump her soft, and then I had Steve in the corner looking at me, and then she went down. The next one, she didn't go down. She went way up.
All right, we have someone giggling in the stand in the wings over here.
Also a gymnast of Mary Lee Tracy. She
can hardly hold herself
I
in.
know.
Me neither.
Mary Lee was coach of J.C. Phelps, but also Amanda Borden. Yay!
Yay! I'm laughing because I
You are laughing so hard.
The whole gym followed it. So Amanda Borden, part of the Magnificent Seven, team captain. She was voted unanimously team captain of the 96 women's gymnastics team. And you were just in the perfect position and the perfect person to do that.
Well, thank you. I actually voted for you because I admired you. You were one of the hardest workers on our team, and I think you really set the tone of excellence for not just our team, but our generation.
Yes, I
Very
agree.
sweet. Well, we loved the way you set the tone because you were always smiling. It didn't matter how rigorous the workout, how bad the day, you were always smiling. You were always there with a positive word. I mean, even Dominique Dawes, literally right before we walk out through the blue curtain into the arena, first night of the Olympic Games, competing in the U.S., tell us what happened.
Well, thank you for thinking I was positive. I just remember in that moment thinking, you guys are two-time Olympians. You, Carrie Strug, and Dominique Dawes, and why would she be down crying? She knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And I just remember picking her up and saying, we've worked really hard for this moment, and we just have to have faith right now. Go out and have fun. And I know for me, I was always my best when I was having fun. And that's where that smile came from. I really, truly just enjoyed the journey.
Can you tell us something about how it was different to coach these two?
Very different. This was a rock, and this was her face all the time, and then this was Amanda all the time, or the opposite of that was a little bit of crying. And so sometimes we battled a bit because the more she would cry, the madder I got, the more she cried. But
It wasn't a battle, it was a cycle.
it was a cycle that worked, and it made us both better because I got more soft and Amanda got more tough, and so we both benefited.
I'm definitely an emotional person. I wear my emotions pretty much on my face. I was listening to Hall of Fame speeches and other Olympians, and I get tears in my eyes. I just feel so much, and I think for me, gymnastics was a feeling. I always knew how much she cared about me, even though I was crying. Sometimes it was upset at myself, knowing I could do better, and I told her not too long ago, she just never gave up on me and always believed in me, even when I maybe didn't believe in myself, and I think that's an incredible gift.
Was there a moment in those games where, and you're the team captain now, and you're captaining Shannon Miller and such, was there a time that you just kind of had the deer in the headlight, oh goodness, what should I be doing now, or what should I say now?
Well, I do have to say I was very lucky. I think our team just had a really special chemistry, and the experience we each brought made us a perfect puzzle. That was definitely, I think, a unique experience. Watching Dominique Dawes crumble a little bit definitely caught me off guard, and then I knew in that moment that this is why I was here for this team, because I wasn't the superstar athlete. I didn't have all the tricks. I was really clean, and I had good form.
And
good
you smiled
consistency,
a lot.
and I smiled and had fun. But I knew in that moment that's why I was there, to be maybe the glue for the team, so that if anybody needed that positivity or, that feeling of we got this, we can do this, then, that's why I was there.
How did you feel about that?
I think Amanda was the glue, whether she always felt that or not. She was the glue. And, the thing is, she didn't have to say anything. Mm-hmm. She was just there, and you just felt that presence of that I felt like she was more of the solid. And, there were three, and I think that chemistry was key because there were three of us coming over from the 92 Olympics. So we were supposed to kind of be the veterans and know what's going on. Then we had Amanda, who was just this amazing captain, positive attitude. It was such a great theme for our team. And then you had a couple of the young ones coming in that kind of kept it fresh, kept us old
And
fogies
energy.
going.
And
A lot of
energy. They had
a lot
energy.
more energy.
And kept us going. I think at our age, you start feeling like, I don't think I can do one more repetition.
Well, Dominique Moceanu, she was just a spitfire. She's 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, and so I think that was great. And then Amy Chow, who is just so steady. You just always could count on Amy Chow.
And wasn't she funny? Wasn't she have this
Dry
tone?
sense of humor.
Really dry.
Everybody
dry.
thought she was quiet, and then if you hang out behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because
And then
we
we
were
also had-
recruiting her. When I recruited her, I just remember being blown away going, oh my gosh, Amy Chow is hysterical.
She is hysterical. She will make you laugh. And she
And
still
then our
does.
buddy
It's a lot of
Jace.
I know.
JC
Jace was just carefree.
She was so carefree, and she lightened the mood because
She lightened it all the time.
You get very focused and you get very determined, but JC would crack a joke or do something silly, and it's okay. You can breathe. You can
And
just
she
breathe
was
a little
she
bit.
was a rock. She was the lead off on pretty much every
Every
event
event,
except optional balance beam, and that was my position. And You know, she was a phenomenal gymnast, but could handle the pressure when it mattered most. And that was key for us to get up there and get that ball rolling, I think was a big deal.
Well, I will never forget JC Phelps going up first on uneven bars, our first event, the final night of team competition. We walk out. She has missed every routine and workout. She's
We
missed
remember, Shannon. We remember.
every single one of them. And we're thinking, "Ooh, what is she going to do?" We know what the pressure. She goes up and she nails this set like I've never seen before.
Yes, I remember.
Sticks the landing, and it was like, I think we locked eyes and it was like, it's on.
We got this.
Let's go.
I remember watching her take the bars. I mean, JC, I always say I would not have made the Olympic team without her because I kind of felt like I was over the hill a little bit, and I started not giving up on myself, but I can only handle. I was 19 in the Olympics, and I trained for the last 3 years with JC. And I just remember thinking, oh, five routines is enough, Mary Lee. And then this kid comes in and she's like, I got 10. And I'm like, well, then I got 10 too. And so that really challenged me and pushed me. But I had never seen her have as rough of a warm-up as that warm-up. And I remember being on the sidelines and pacing. I was pacing for her back and forth, because I just was so nervous for all of us. But we knew we needed her to get up there, and we knew we needed her to hit. Absolutely. And she did it.
Now, I know, so for you guys at home or wherever you are, we're at the P&G National Championships in Anaheim, and I know you guys actually have stuff to do because we just can't get enough of gymnastics. So Mary Lee is still coaching, and you've got a gymnast in both the juniors and seniors tonight.
Yes, and we're going to start training in about 5 minutes.
Yes. So, and then Amanda, you have a gym. Well, you have a couple of gyms. You're coaching. You're still so involved.
Yep.
So
definitely
we're
busy.
having a lot of
And
Three
commentating
kids.
Pac-12.
Yes.
That's
Pac-12
right.
I
meets.
love commentating college gymnastics.
Love
It's
her
one of
commentating.
my favorite things, to just really celebrate the athletes, and my goal is to always make sure they know how much I appreciate all they've done. So
Absolutely. Well, we
Thanks for having us,
appreciate both
girls.
of
It was
you.
a great time as
Thank
always.
you.
thank you.
Good to
Have
see
fun
you
tonight,
both.
Mary Lee.
And I spy another young lady that is sitting on the sidelines. We talked a little bit about 96, but before that, there was the 92 Olympic team, and one of my friends, Miss Betty Okino. She's busy hugging because
She's
that's
hugging.
what we do. We hug.
We hug.
Hello.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi. Trying not to bend in front of the camera.
Don't bend in front of
So
the
we're a
camera.
family
okay?
show.
Don't bend in front of the camera.
So Miss Betty
Unless it looks
Okino.
Hi.
She is one of the most inspirational, motivational people I have ever had the pleasure to know, but she's also a teammate of mine in 1992, bronze medal, boom.
We got things going.
We got
things going with the 92 games.
It was like the first step, right?
It was.
To getting the gold.
It was like the jump start into 8 points ahead.
That's right.
Of other
it was
teams.
the first team medal for USA Gymnastics
Yeah,
in a
in a
non-boycotted
non-boycotted
games.
games.
So it was huge, and we had a great time.
We did. I think I realize the value of that now much more than I did then. Now
We
that
were
I'm-
so young.
Yeah, now that I'm in my 20s, I totally understand the value of what that medal actually meant. Some people
right.
think
20.
now that I'm 20 something.
Can I
21.
get in my favorite Betty Okino story?
Yes, please.
Can I get in my favorite Betty
Yes.
Okino story? It was 1993?
Maybe.
Was it? Right,
I
it
don't
was
know.
right after the Olympics.
I don't know which story you're going to tell. I'm waiting. Anticipation.
I have had the tremendous honor of being able to choreograph cirque-type shows for SeaWorld every summer, and we had an ice skating and gymnastics show, and Betty Okino was one of our star gymnasts. And during that time, skaters could be rather difficult because all skaters have agents, and at that point, gymnasts didn't have agents, right? And so the skaters, they would say that they weren't going to come out for rehearsal unless they rearranged the order of their names being introduced. And so it was late. We had...
It was late.
I just said that.
Okay, I know, but I'm just emphasizing how late it was. It was like
late.
midnight.
Okay.
Like 9 p.m.
No, it was 11:30 at night, and we were going till midnight. It's probably later than 11:30.
It probably was.
And
we
they
had been
had already
rehearsing
done
for hours already, but keep
4 or
going.
5 full runs, and I said, okay, let's just take it one more time from the top, full out. And Betty stands. Betty does this on the stage. I want my agent and I want my cell phone. I'm not running again until I talk to my agent. And I say, Betty, you don't have an agent and you don't have a cell phone, so let's go. Get back in the spot. Let's take it from the top one more time.
Okay,
And you
Miss Val.
probably did.
Yeah, I did. Okay, Miss
From the
Val.
top. Right.
That didn't
Full
work.
run through.
Okay.
I did.
Oh, so one of my favorite stories is actually, I wasn't part of this story. I heard about it later, but 1992.
Yes.
Going over to Barcelona. It's our first Olympics.
Yes.
It is an amazing experience. We spend 2 weeks in France training ahead of time. We're so tired and so dead.
Yeah, we were tired.
We go into the Olympic Village first day, and in the Olympic Village is amazing. You see all these incredible athletes. Well, it's the first time that you had the professional basketball players playing in the Olympics, and so here we are. We walk in, the shortest of the Olympic Games to the tallest of the Olympic Games. There's the dream team, or most of it, and so we say hi real quick, and then we kind of go to our rooms.
Yep.
And then what happens? Because I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Are you a little
Why?
salty about that?
Why? I know. You could kind of feel it in the air, right? So we went to the training room because it was right after practice. So we went to the training room. You didn't have to go to the training room, so you
I went to
up
bed. I went to sleep.
our apartment and took a nap. So we're in the training room. We're getting therapy, our ice tapes, and someone comes running through and says, "The dream team's in the village." We tore off our TENS units and started running. Mara's like, wait. And we're like, Marta, it's the dream team. We have to go. And she's like, okay. And so we go taking off, and she's trying to chase us behind us with her finger. Wait. And we're like, we can't wait anymore. We took off running, totally forgot about Sleeping Beauty. Meanwhile, we got to meet the whole team, which, it was
They're
awesome.
hanging out on the bus with the drink with everybody. Yeah.
I know. Felt bad after that afterwards. You weren't the
How
only one,
badly
though, I
did you
think.
feel, Betty?
And I mean, not
really. Not
not
that
that bad.
You'll send
not
me a
that bad.
photo,
I'll
right?
send you the pictures. That's funny.
Well, we can crop me in now.
I can totally Photoshop you
There
in.
you
It's
go.
on. It's happening. You were there.
So, Betty Okino, what are you doing now?
I am coaching through camps and clinics
Wonderful.
and doing choreography.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
One of
choreographer.
the most inspired gymnastics choreographers
Thank you.
I have ever seen.
Well, you just made my day. You just made my day because we had asked her to come be a part of this show on October 21st, Jump, Jive, and Thrive. And she looks at me seriously and she says, will you choreograph it for me? And I was like, oh, thank you so much.
I mean,
So will you do the triple turn on beam? Oh, did you catch the face?
on a beam?
On a line on a
Can
floor?
it be on a line? Chalk line on the floor?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
in.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
come
you.
behind
We
you and
have
we'll go
to,
like this.
at our age, we have to work things a little bit looser than that.
20s.
I'm so excited you're going to join us, though.
It's
I
It's
know.
going to be fabulous.
I
Yeah.
can't
literally
wait.
made this
I
decision
can't
like
wait.
5
Do you have a
minutes
cell
ago.
phone now?
literally. Yeah.
Do you have an agent?
I've got a cell phone. You can talk to my agent.
Okay.
She's right here.
She works long hours.
We'll
Yeah,
work
she
it.
works long hours. Call her anytime.
No,
Shannon.
we're very excited because it's going to be an awesome show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Dancing,
wait.
gymnastics, and it's all
I
for
mean,
a good
anytime you
cause.
put dancing together, gymnastics, and for
Live
something
music.
positive,
A
live
lot
music.
of live
It's
music.
about celebration,
It
really,
is.
right?
It
It's
is.
so much fun.
Thriving, celebration.
I mean-
and I love because you are such a beautiful dancer, and most people don't know. So Miss Val, professional ballerina,
Yes.
gorgeous, amazing
Yes.
dance. So to be
you.
surrounded by all of these just incredible dancers as well as gymnasts in the live performance, it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be amazing.
And what I love about dance is a celebration
It
of
is.
movement. It's like even if you don't, and music at the same time, you put music and movement together, and it's just
Right.
like this is the essence of life, and that's what this is about.
Well, and I tell you, I don't know if you felt this way, but going through treatment, chemo, when I could actually get up and move, and it didn't matter how small, it might be walking around my dining room table, or it might be maybe a little bit of dance when music came on, but just to be able to move
Right.
was so liberating, and it made me feel like a person again,
Yep.
and not a victim.
And you know what? Saying that, I noticed that I stifled that inner feeling of wanting to move so much, especially on the competition floor, because I felt that I had to be this straight-laced coach. And after cancer, I was like, oh my gosh, if the music is going to fill me and fill my soul with joy, I'm moving.
Yes.
And since then, my student athletes have said, Miss Val, it is so much more fun being with you on the floor, and you doing that make me relaxed, and
Yes.
I am competing better
Yes.
because you're relaxed.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Everybody dance.
Everybody dance. I think that's probably one of the most powerful things that you can impart to your athletes.
Yes.
So.
One of my most favorite things is almost every single meet, Caitlin Ohashi will come up to me. I'll feel this little hand in my hand, and she'll say, "Come on, Miss Val, dance with me," in the middle of a meet.
I love that.
I love that.
I love that.
I know.
I love that.
Oh, well, we've been talking about so many exciting things with the Olympics, but the NCAA gymnastics is absolutely
It's on
incredible.
fire. It's exciting.
And Fuego
it
people-
wasn't like this back in our day.
No,
We were
it
actually
wasn't.
discussing that.
It,
actually,
it
on our
really
last
was
girls.
very different, but
Yeah.
it is on the scene. It is everywhere, and it is so much fun to
Yeah.
watch.
It is.
is.
It's
So
a
much
lot of
fun.
entertainment.
Yes.
It is.
And every single meet is produced down to like 2 minutes, so you're not there for 3 hours anymore. It's
Well, and I know we're going to talk to some other athletes that are coming on
Yeah.
about this, about NCAA versus the elite
Yes.
regimen. But it's a little bit of a different world, and it's a more of a, I think, a team aspect, and we'll get into
Yeah.
that more. But
Yeah.
it is just so much fun to see these athletes going from the Olympics
Yes.
to NCAA,
Yes.
getting their education as well as
Yes.
enjoying the sport.
yes.
Yes, and
Yes,
I feel
thank
like
you.
it's a great period on the end of a career when an athlete
It
can go
is.
from the Olympics experience to NCAA because it's so different. It's more about
It is.
celebrating yourself as an athlete, which is,
And camaraderie.
and camaraderie and feeling like that team unity, which we do have. We do have
Yes.
in USAG, but it's a little bit different. And I feel like every single athlete that I've spoken to that's gone through the Olympic experience and then gone to the NCAA experience, they just have everything about the sport ended with that, and it's so positive.
Yes.
It's positive.
I
Yes.
think even giving them that feeling of longevity.
Longevity,
in the
that's
sport.
true.
Right.
And transition. I think that when you
Yes.
overnight. I mean, for us, it was more you're in the Olympics one day and you're not the next.
Right.
Yes.
And so I think collegiate gymnastics allows for that transition and learning about yourself and
Yes.
what you want to do with the rest of your life.
Yes.
I think it's also what I love about it, coming from a performance background, is yes, they do not do the level of gymnastics that they did in elite, but they're also competing every single weekend.
Yes.
So
Oh.
15 or 16 meets in 4 months.
Well, and I tell you what,
Oh,
though,
that's a
the
lot.
difficulty level is
still high.
greatly increased
It is.
from years ago.
It is.
It's still pretty
But
incredible.
figuring out that, like, I always have my student athletes say, Miss Val, when I compete in college, that's when I got mentally buff. Because you
Yes.
have to figure out how to, it's like being on Broadway. You have to figure out how
It's
to
an
get
endurance
up
game.
every single show, how to do the same thing but make it fresh.
Yes.
And that's something that they don't really get in JO or elite. But like you said, I think it's a wonderful exclamation point actually
Yes.
to their career.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Betty. We appreciate you coming so much, and I love
hanging
see
out with you
all
guys.
the time.
We do girls trips.
I know, yeah, we're trying to
FYI.
figure out where
I have
Our
a-
last one was in
I
Vegas.
wasn't invited, but now that I'm
you're
back in
You're
the
invited to the
club, now that I'm
next
back in
one.
the club with 5, 6, 7, 8.
There you go.
Thank you
you
guys.
You're in the club.
Thank
Yeah.
Girls
you.
trip. Love you.
Love you.
We have coming up next another amazing athlete, Olympic gymnast, Olympic gold medalist Jordan Weaver. Come on.
Come on out, Joe.
We're doing more hugging.
I
back
know
there.
you, Joe.
Hello. Hey. Wherever you want.
here.
So we're just talking about longevity in the sport and what happens after. I mean, after you win at the Olympics, it really is. It's a different experience. You come home and you have to kind of figure out what you're doing with your life, and you are doing some incredible things. We want to hear all about what you're doing, but you're also working with UCLA, which is fantastic.
Yes. I mean, we do gymnastics for our entire lives. I literally started when I was 3 or 4 years old and retired at the age of 18, which is so weird. I feel like retired is not the right word to use, but you kind of have this feeling of, okay, what do I do next? I've reached the peak of my sport, and what am I supposed to do next? And for me, it was very natural to just want to go get a college education. And I originally wanted to do college gymnastics at UCLA because I love Miss Val. And it's such a great university for academics, and I ended up going there and working with the team. And now I'm pursuing a career in NCAA coaching. So it was a really good transition for me because I love the sport of gymnastics, and it was just natural for me to be in the gym every single day. And I get to give back to the sport that I love.
I love that there's so many ways that we can continue to give back. Whether you want to be a coach or a gym owner or a judge or a commentator or it doesn't matter. There's so many avenues for us.
I'd have to jump in because, and I've said this probably 1,000 times, and I'll say it another 20,000 times because it's so important, and we're talking about giving back. You have a gold medalist, and when she came to UCLA, I told her that the only position we had available, she couldn't coach because the NCAA tells you how many coaches you can have on staff. So she could only come in as a team manager. And Jordan Weber said, I will do anything for my team. I said, well, Joe, if you're going to be a team manager, then you're moving mats, you're chalking bars, you're washing leotards, you're a gold medalist. And she said, I will do anything for my team. And so for the 3 years, her first 3 years, she was our head team manager. And talk about a servant's heart and giving back, not just to her team, but for all of those people, not just young people, but people in the stands that saw Jordan Weber at our meets moving mats. What a gift.
What a gift. What an incredible example that you've set for so many that watch you at the Olympics and then continue to see how hardworking you are. And it doesn't stop there. You do so much charity work. Can you tell us a little bit about the charity work that you do?
So one of my favorite things, I actually work with a nonprofit organization called the NIGU Foundation. It's based upon a little girl who died of cancer when she was, I think, 11 or 12 years old. Her name is Jessie Reese. And she had this amazing idea of giving back to the other little kids in the hospital who can't leave and who are so sick. So she packed up these little joy jars with little toys and little activities that they can use while they're sitting in their hospital bed, unable to move or do anything. And so now the foundation goes around and lives out her legacy by giving joy jars to kids all over the country.
Isn't that amazing?
I love it.
So one of my favorite things is to visit all these hospitals as an Olympian and share my story and hopefully inspire these little kids to never ever give up.
Absolutely. You know, it's so amazing that what these children go through, what their parents go through, certainly, but the resilience of these children when you see them in the hospital and they're ready, gung-ho to fight, and they're holding their parents up. And I just can't imagine that. As a mom of two, I can't imagine going through that. But to have people come into the hospital and allow them to kind of take a breather and be a kid. Just don't worry about having the port and everything.
Right.
Just let's be a kid.
Yeah,
I
I know my Olympic experience and all the injuries and obstacles I had to go through can't even compare to fighting cancer. But if I can go in and just put a smile on their face, that's really what it's all about. It's what I want to do.
That's
It's always
fantastic.
amazing to me how much they light up. You know, as horrible as they may be feeling at the moment, when you go in, or I know Maddie Koshin's been doing a lot with NIGU as well, Never Ever Give Up, that's the acronym. But to see them there's something in them that this joy comes out of them when you walk in the room. It's extremely powerful.
It's incredible. That's why I love it. Just even if I can see them smile or even put a smile on their parents' faces because it's just as hard for them.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you, what was the most daunting part of going from an athlete, okay, team manager, you got that part down, but then coaching last year?
Ooh. It's so different. It's completely different because as a coach, you're not in control. You know, as a gymnast, you're out there, you're competing, you're able to control what's going on, you're able to...
Are you a bit of a control freak, Jen?
Slightly.
Is there a
Slightly.
gymnast
Are you
that
a bit of
isn't? A little bit.
It's in our blood, Ms. Val. You can't help it. But going out there and kind of not being the person who gets to perform, it's a different experience for me, but being able to kind of transfer my knowledge and transfer my confidence to the other girls, and it means the world to me. And I've always been a very team-oriented person, especially like after my experience in the Olympics. I didn't do as well as I would wanted to individually, but to come back and help the team win the gold medal, I just realized like that's what is in my blood. I love being a part of a team, and that's why I'm so attracted to college gymnastics and why I love coaching now.
That's awesome. I love it. We have another surprise guest. Stay here with us.
Okay.
Stay here with us. Keep us going. But, okay, huge announcement. We need the drum roll.
Oh,
I need the drum roll.
drum roll.
There you go. Okay, that's my drum roll. So, announcing Nastya Lukin, Olympic champion. How are you doing?
Hi, baby.
Hugs everywhere.
Hugs.
Hi.
Hugs.
Hi.
Hugs.
Sorry. Have a seat. How are you? You're like everywhere. It's great to see you.
You too. It's been a while.
Everywhere, Nast.
You had a
I'm
big
here
event
right
this
now,
morning.
though.
You're here right now, but you had a big event this morning.
How did it go? It was beautiful.
Awesome. Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it's been really fun. So my fiance and I actually started a new company called Grander Sports, and really just about inspiring the next generation of athletes and focusing on gymnastics first, and then women's sports all across the board. But today we had a really cool summit type event and had some amazing speakers, and just really, it was really awesome just to see so many bright eyes, and just you could tell they were, just hopefully taking it all in. So I have to tell you though, setting up an event and
not
planning
for the
an
faint
event,
of
it is
heart.
no joke. I think we're so used to like showing up. So no, but it was, I feel like it was really rewarding. So it
That's
was awesome.
fantastic. It's the
Yeah.
first step.
Exactly.
I would say the first event is always the worst, and then you kind of get it down.
Yeah, that's kind of, I feel like if today was the worst, then like we're good.
Well, and the great thing is you have so many athletes willing to pitch in and help out. And I think there was a long list of panelists that were
Yeah.
there today, and that's kind of what we do. We're family, and we do our
Absolutely.
best to help each other out in whatever way we can, and just enjoy the sport. And really, I think for you as well, coming from gold medal at the 2008 Olympics, and then trying to figure out, what do I do with my life?
Yeah, that I feel like, I mean, we all know that's like such a hard transition. Like I always say, it's obviously hard to go from high school to college, and then when you graduate college and you're going into the real world. But for us, it's like, I'm not saying our life is harder by any means, but it's just like, I feel like we're almost defined by the sport of gymnastics for so many years, and it's like, who am I without that in my life? And not that gymnastics won't be in our life, because it's a huge part of all of our lives, but physically like not doing it every day. So it was, I think for me, moving to New York and going to NYU, and I'm sure Jordan, you could say the same, going to UCLA, and just being like a college student and meeting people from all walks of life, and just being yourself, and not necessarily just being, Jordan Weaver, the Olympic gold medalist, or so yeah, I think like that transition at first was hard, but
There's
it's
something
been
to
great.
be said to kind of just getting outside of your element. I know
Yeah.
that was hard for me, but you kind of have to do it. You have to jump in. You have to try something
You just
new.
have to go.
You have to be
You do,
outside of the
yeah,
sport. You have to
exactly.
talk to other people, see what else is going on in the world, because your world has been in the gym.
Totally.
I have a question for all three of you. You're all gold medalists. You all achieved greatness at the absolute pinnacle, at the highest level. And so people come up to you all the time. And what is something that someone has said to you, a stranger that has come up to you, that's just like touched your heart, or something that you would want them to know is okay to say,
Yeah.
or
Well, I think like one
Or
of the
not
hardest
to
things.
assume.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. One of the hardest things I think about our sport is when we're out there, or at least for me, I was like so serious and so stoic, so I didn't really show like
You
my
all three
personality.
were.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
and I was like, I don't really want to speak for each
Yeah.
other, but I really feel like we were like that, and it's not like I didn't smile because I wasn't having fun or didn't enjoy it or didn't love it, but that was like that was my game face. That was the way I focused, and so that's why I love being able to do events and meet people and come to stuff like this, because they actually get to like know the real you, just like Nastia, not Nastia looking
Right.
the Olympic gold medalist. And I think that, that perception, and sometimes it's hard too when you have like 2 seconds with that one person you meet. I always try to remind myself like, yes, this might be like the millionth person you've met, but that's the first time they've met you. So.
Right.
And I think it's the reactions we get years after the Olympics,
Yeah.
when we've all processed what we've been through, and we're out of our shells, and we're coming into our own individual personalities outside of the sport. That's when you hear things, and it just hits you so hard, and people tell you that they inspire, or you inspired them to stay in the sport of gymnastics. That's something that's my favorite thing to hear.
Yeah.
And I think to your point or your question about one moment, and I have been here. We're at, if you're just tuning in, we're at the PNG Championships, National Championships for Gymnastics. And if you don't know, this is Jump, Jive, and Thrive. We're making sure everyone knows that. So Twitter at Jump Jive, in Thrive. Not and Thrive, in Thrive. So you can do that. Follow us on all the social media. But to your point, I think it all kind of came together for me a couple days ago. I was signing autographs, and as you said, you're the millionth person, and a woman came up and was literally shaking and in tears, and I didn't know what was going on with her life or what was going on, but she came up and she just clung to me and just gave me this huge hug, and she just said, "I've watched you forever, and you've inspired me," and
Wow.
To have any thought that you could possibly affect someone's life in that way. And I know I have people, Mary Lou Retton, affected me in that way. The reason why I am where I am, I think I owe a lot to Mary Lou Retton. And so to feel like you've somehow affected someone that deeply in a positive way is just mind-blowing. It's amazing, and I think we have to kind of remember, to Nastia's point, we have to remember that every person is going to remember that for some time.
Right.
And I think we were all there at one point.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you talk
Right.
about Mary Lou Retton, like the Mag 7 for me. Like I remember that, like those were the first games when I was watching that I actually understood what was going on, and it was kind of like, wow, like watching you guys win like in Atlanta on, you know, home soil, and just seeing like the fans and the crowd and you guys as a team. And then now it's like I still have like pinch me moments where I'm just like, I'm like friends with these people now, you know, and like they were my idols. And so that's kind of how I put myself back, the same thing as you said, like back in those shoes of like you being that little girl just with big dreams. And so that's really what it's all about.
You know what's funny is I knew your father before you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So Nastia's dad, Valeri, he actually like taught me my ginger.
Really?
Yeah, so we'd come into our gym for clinics.
I did not know that.
I will never forget, because Valeri, he's just always in shape. I mean, he can always do just any
To this
skill.
day.
So Valeri, go through his titles, because he was Olympic champion in his own right.
I mean, I'm a bad daughter. I don't even know all of them, but like the main ones,
We won't
obviously.
tell
2 gold and 2 silver medals. Competed for the Soviet Union, but at the 88 games, so.
Just incredible
and
history.
numerous other, yeah.
Absolutely incredible history.
Yeah.
And so he comes in, he's a clinician at our gym. You know, every once in a while he comes in, I'm having trouble with this ginger. It's a move on bars where you release the bar, you got to catch the bar, and it's all confusing. And I don't know what I'm doing. And Steve Nuno, my coach, he's having trouble with me because he's kind of not able to show.
Well, you get to a point too where it's like your coach can keep telling you the same
Right.
exact thing over and over, and
not
it's
getting
not
through.
clicking.
No.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he comes in one day, and I remember he gets up on the girls' bar, so not the men's side bar, gets up on the girls' bar, no grips, didn't stretch out, nothing like that, throws a ginger. Like, did you see that?
Wow.
And honestly, I just had to see it. And I remember his advice to me was, stop thinking. It's
right.
one of those moves where I was
Remember that.
getting in my own way.
Yeah.
Just stop thinking.
That's so funny. I literally said that today,
Right.
and you know, I was like mental blocks and fears and stuff, and like all that is normal. But I always say, like, and not even in gymnastics, but in life, like sometimes we just think a little too much. Like, take a deep breath and just like do what you know how to do.
If you all could go back to your favorite meet, one moment in time. One.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
I have a funny moment. Well, not funny, but when I went up for my floor team, it was the last event of the team finals in London.
At the Olympics?
Yes. And Nastia was there. She was sitting at the table with the FIG, and I walked up, and I'm kind of getting in my zone, and I just I glanced at Nastia, and she had to be serious.
I know. I was like really trying not to like.
She just gave me this little smirk, and I was like, oh my God, like Nastia. I
did not
I was like,
know
okay,
that.
I got this now. I can do it.
Oh my God.
Nastia smirked at me. I
Nastia
got
smirked
it.
at me.
So that means I can make my floor
Quote
team
of
at
the
the
day.
Olympics.
Now,
It was just a
smirked at me.
funny little thing. But
Yeah.
I think that last event of the team final in the Olympics was probably my favorite moment. Just going out there, I remember just feeling so free on the floor exercise. I didn't think really at all.
Yeah.
I just had fun and enjoyed it, and that was probably I'm kind of like getting shaky talking about it, but it was just the most amazing moment for me.
What was yours?
Gosh, I mean, the Olympic all-around final for me was obviously like an amazing moment, but I think one of my favorites was even just going out for qualifications at the Olympics, and I was the tallest at 5'3", but so I was like standing in the front of the line with my teammates behind me, and we were standing in the tunnel about to march out, and I remember we all just kind of like looked at each other, and we all took a deep breath, and I knew like we all had the same feeling, butterflies in our stomachs, almost had tears in our eyes. We knew we were about to embark on one of the most memorable experiences of our lives, and yet we didn't know what was going to happen. Like, we weren't Olympic medalists, we weren't gold medalists or anything, but our dreams of becoming Olympians were about to come true in literally like 10 seconds, and it was just like this moment that I remember still, like just being like same, like kind of like shaky, like those shaky feelings, but also knowing like how incredible of a moment just standing there, like kind of like looking through this tunnel like into your future. It was really cool.
You know, I think I love the Atlanta Olympics. Obviously, I love the Barcelona Olympics. Winning a gold medal, home soil, not a bad
It's hard
thing.
to top
Hard
a
to
gold
top.
medal, yeah.
But I will say that probably my favorite gymnastics experience, my favorite competition experience was one of my first international competitions. I was a junior international.
How old were you?
I was probably 12. Catania, Italy, and it was the first time that I hit all 4 events at an international meet.
That was nice.
I didn't land on my face, which was a plus.
Was Mary Lou spotting you? Okay.
Not yet. But it was, so I felt good, and at the end of the night, there was my name at the top of the leaderboard. And it was incredible, and I remember I was marched out because I'd never won anything internationally, never had to go to the podium, so I marched up to the top of the podium, and they hand you the flowers and the trophy and all that stuff, and then everyone stopped, and it was just silence. And then the music began, and it was my national anthem.
Oh, wow.
And I saw the American flag.
I literally just got
I just got chills.
all the way down.
Yeah.
And it was that moment in time where I wasn't a 5-year-old that wanted to be in the Olympics. It was that moment in time that I knew this is all I ever want to do. I want to do this again. I want to do it on the biggest stage. That's the Olympics. I went home more inspired, ready to train. I think I did like 20 beam routines a day for a month. I'm going to the Olympics. I have to do this again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And remembering that.
Fun. Oh my gosh, we have another huge person. Where is she? Come on.
She's coming.
Oh,
We're saying goodbye.
We have to say goodbye.
We have to
anyone?
leave.
No, we want a party.
They're telling
We want
me
a
I have to say
party.
goodbye. We're a party. If you guys want
on.
to stay, just stay. But actually, so we have Miss Lori Hernandez. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Woo! Congratulations again. It was a beautiful event. Sorry. Okay, bye, baby. Bye. Thank you.
Well, the good thing about gymnasts and ballerinas, when we fall, we do it gracefully.
We do it very gracefully.
Lori, come on! Oh my gosh, come here! How are you? How are you?
Look
How
at
are
how
you
darling
doing?
you are.
Oh, thank you.
my
Have
gosh.
a seat. Have a seat.
Yay, this is amazing.
Oh, how much do we love Lori?
We love Lori. I got to meet Lori for real a few days ago, yes?
Yes.
Last week. And she came on a campus tour, and I literally was fangirling.
I was fangirling too.
Oh.
We first saw each other, we started skipping towards each other.
We
It was
were.
amazing.
We chassaged towards each other, like about 20 feet. We did a little impromptu.
Well, you're going to be doing more of that because you're going to be part of the show.
Yes.
We're so excited.
Jump, jive, and thrive,
Jump, jive, and
Hernandez.
thrive.
Right, and if you're just joining us, it's Jump, Jive, and Thrive time. It is going to be October 21st on CBS, a great show. I'll be co-hosting with Scott Hamilton. Lori's going to be a part of the show.
It's amazing.
And it's all about celebrating and honoring cancer survivors. So it's a great cause. We're very excited about it. But we want to learn about you because you've been doing some awesome stuff.
Thank you.
I loved I do a lot of commentary, and so I do my studying on all of the athletes, and it has been so much fun to follow your career.
Thank you. Thank
Last
you so
year,
much.
oh my gosh, last year was so incredible. Just watching you come up and just turn it on when the time was right, and to watch you at the Olympic Games was such a pleasure. I mean, I think
Thank
the
you.
whole world just loves your smile. We
Thank
just
you.
love your
Thank you
smile.
so much. That's so sweet.
But it has been a pleasure. I mean, that happened so fast. Like,
Yeah.
you're coming up and all. I mean, like literally within a 3-month period, it's like, oh, there is Lori. Okay,
Yes.
she's on the scene. Let's go.
That's exactly how it happened, actually. I mean, the year before, I was just, this little junior. I went to nationals. I got to do a few international meets, but the highest competition that I've ever done, was nationals or any international meet. I didn't go to a Worlds. I didn't go to Olympics because I was too young. So 2016 was a whole new realm for me, but I loved it.
Well, and I don't want to hog the conversation, but
I could talk to you for like
I
8
know.
hours.
What was so fascinating to me is, I mean, I've watched so many athletes, and I think I've commentated every game since 2000. It is one of the most amazing things when you see a junior come up so quick, go to junior to senior, make it on the team. How often does that happen? But then you held your own.
Thank
I mean, there was no jitters.
No.
It was Lori's on the scene. you know what you're going to get, and
you.
were just steady as she goes.
Thank you so much. I mean, it definitely, I'm not going to lie, it did feel a bit nerve-wracking when I was up there.
It didn't show.
But thank you. I mean, the girls, they were also very helpful in telling me, you know what, just keep it the same as practice. Don't overdo it. Don't underdo it. Keep it all the same. And that really helped me because when I was in practice, I would think, okay, this is my competition routine. And then when I would go to compete, I would say, all right, it's just another practice routine. So that mindset really helped me out there too.
The whole world has fallen in love with your light.
Thank you.
You know, you're talented, yes. You're super fun to watch, yes. But there is something in you that is this light.
Thank you.
Would you say that you've always had it? Or where has that come from? Or
Yeah, I mean, I think, I guess it's always kind of been there. It definitely comes from my family. My family is, they're very positive people. They're very, very faithful people. And so being able to be raised by them, I think that's where I really get my positivity from. And I remember just, my mom tells me this story all the time. When I was a little girl, I started off by doing ballet. And my first ever recital, there were a couple hundred people watching, and the curtains opened up. And all the little girls next to me started to cry, but I was the only one who was dancing on stage.
I love
So
it.
I guess I was a
love
little
that.
performer even back then
and
too.
now, I mean, you launched onto the scene at, well, the Olympic Games with a gold medal and a silver on balance beam.
Thank you.
But then you went on to just wow us on Dancing with the Stars, and now you get the opportunity to show off more of your dancing skills with Jump, Jive, and Thrive.
I can't wait.
So
what
we're
was
so
the hardest
excited.
part of Dancing with the Stars?
I think it was just getting used to so many different accommodations. I think it was the heels, because as a gymnast, you're barefoot all the time. The heels were
Did
a
you get
bit of a struggle.
blisters?
I
Did you-
did.
yeah.
Yeah, I ended up having to tape my toes and tape the shoes and put
The stuff that people don't
moleskin.
see.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I had to do. And then also just dancing with a partner. As you know, like as a gymnast, you're a team, but you're out there solo. When you're dancing with someone, it's like you have to have your partner lead you, and that was just a little uncomfortable for me. I was like, no, I need to take the first step. But I went through that.
So how hard was it having to, because this is what kills me, having to learn new choreography every week?
It's a little rough.
You know what? It's a muscle. And it's something that I noticed when I stopped dancing and then I would go back and take class. That muscle was weak.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe how, because I used to pick up choreography so quickly, I couldn't believe how slow I was and how hard I had to work.
Yeah.
It's not, I don't think it's just a gift, it is a muscle.
It's definitely a muscle. I definitely agree with that. And I think also my partner was a big perfectionist, and so we would work like 45 minutes on one step, and then finally I would get it, and he would say, no, I don't like this, and then we'd have to learn another step. So it was that process, but thankfully he was a perfectionist, which made our routines even better. So I'm grateful.
I mean, when you won. So there you go.
Yeah.
Perfectionist pays off.
Definitely.
No, how much fun have you been having just this past, I can't believe it's been a year since Rio.
That's insane to me. It
And
feels a few days ago,
You've
but
done so much. I mean, you've had so many great opportunities, and I guess, well, maybe what was your favorite thing that you had the opportunity to do since the Olympics, and then what are you looking forward to?
well, I think a few of my favorite things, I got to write a book after last year, so that was something that I enjoyed. I'm glad it got a lot of good feedback.
I've
and
got this.
Yeah.
I love it. I've got this. Don't get it.
Check it out later. No, but so I did that. Dancing with the Stars, of course, was a lot of fun. I did a gymnastics tour. I did the dancing tour, and then for the future, I'm looking forward. I have 1 year of high school left. So
Can you believe
Can you
that?
believe that?
She's not even
I
out of high
know.
school. She's had more life
I know.
experiences
I
than
know.
anyone, like normal people. And
Thank you.
Yeah, and she's still in high school.
Still in high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1 year of high school left. I'm looking forward to college in the future, and cross your fingers for 2020.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, you heard it here. You
Yeah.
heard it here. Oh my gosh. Well, we are so excited to have you. And we're so excited about Jump, Jive, and Thrive and that you're joining us because we love that we were talking about just the
amazing.
combination of ballet and just all kinds of dance along with gymnastics and musical performances and also the idea of giving back and
Exactly.
celebrating cancer awareness and thrivers, survivors.
Yeah, absolutely. I think giving back to a community and giving back to others in general is something that I was raised to do. And so being able to do an event like this, it means a lot to me and it means a lot to my family. And a lot to others
Adorable
out there.
is she?
Oh, we love you
gosh.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining
Yeah.
us.
Thank you.
Thank
Good to see you.
Thank you.
We have. I know when you're short, you kind of fall off the bar stools. We have Madison Koshin with us. So we have another of the Final Five team joining us right now. Don't
Hey,
you look
beauty.
adorable? And we should mention that not only are we at the national championships, but you're literally walking out of wherever you want. Literally walking out of being inducted into the Gymnastics Hall of Fame.
That is amazing.
It was so exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
what an
you.
honor.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have questions? Because I'm just kind of in awe.
I know, I'm in awe as well. I'm in awe every day of her, actually.
Well, you get to work with
I
Madison.
do get to work with Madison.
all the time.
I do.
And I just think you did an incredible job at the Olympic Games. And I can't believe, after the Olympic Games, you just went right back to college. You started at UCLA. You're doing absolutely incredible. Didn't you hit your first 10-0 in February?
Yes, I
Yes.
did against Stanford.
That's right.
That was so exciting.
Was that interesting for you? Because you've probably not been, I'm showing my age, you've probably not been part of the 10.0 system. So you actually got to have a perfect 10.
Exactly. My last time I competed on the 10.0 system was in level 9, so in 2009. So it was very different because in elite, you can add a bunch of difficulty and harder skills to make up for some of those like little flaws that you have built into your routines. But in college, every little tenth, everything counts. So
Absolutely.
So Maddie had a tremendous freshman year. She did amazing, obviously, for us on the competition floor. She did amazingly in school, which is not always that easy to do your freshman year. And it was hard because I have heard that it takes a good year to get over the emotional fatigue of the Olympic Games. And you came in and competed every single meet except for one. I think you competed 15 meets in 4 months.
Good gracious.
How was I know.
Oh.
I know.
yeah, that was definitely different for me because I'm used to competing, like 4 elite competitions, which the gymnastics is harder, but at the same time you have longer breaks in between, and both mentally and physically it was a different challenge in college competing that many weekends in a row.
And what are you doing now? What are you doing? Like Jordan mentioned a bit with NIGU. Would
Yes.
you like to
I am
pony on that?
trying to become a little bit more involved with the NIGU and the Jesse Reese Foundation, and I got to do a hospital visit in Dallas, and I love being around the kids and trying to cheer them up and bring joy to their faces.
Now, were you going into medical school by chance?
I'm
you're not sure
going
yet?
down the medical path.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure yet, but I want to do something in pediatrics.
That's
So
okay. Freshman, you don't need to know.
Isn't that
You don't need to
great?
know. That's fantastic.
But I love the fact that she has somewhat of a vision and somewhat of
Yes.
this goal and drive.
I'm interested to hear. I never had the opportunity to do NCAA gymnastics. I watch it. I love it. I've done commentary on it, but I've never lived it. What do you see? What shocked you the most going from elite gymnastics to NCAA?
Don't say the head coach.
No, I would say the biggest thing is just trying to find that bond with your teammates, because I have a large team and the Olympics was only 5 girls, so it's still like the team competition at the Olympics was the most important for us, but at the same time now coming into college, it's you want to do everything for your teammates and be there for your teammates the whole time, but find something special that you can relate or bond with each and every one of your teammates.
She was so much fun to coach. First of all, okay, let's say that we're competing on a Saturday, okay? Sunday, we take off. Come back in the gym Monday, Tuesday. We start to ramp up. And they are emotionally, physically, mentally spent. And then start ramping up. And you could see this competitiveness start, around Thursday, Friday, start ramping up again. But the fun part was that there were times where Madison Koshin should have, gone last on bars. But no, let's put her up 4th on bars because she's going to help set up Kyla and Pang. And then the same thing on vault. And it got to a point where one meet, she says, put me first on vault. Put me first. I want to set the tone. I want to get us going. And I was like, how cool is that?
And that's who you want on your team,
To have an Olympic gold medalist say, you put me first, knowing that you're probably not going to count that score.
So you've done some good recruiting.
I've done great recruiting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You've picked some good ones. Well, you must be having so much fun. I mean, you've had incredible opportunities, all the award shows I see you at,
Yes.
and it's probably been a little bit of a wild ride coming from the Olympics, also having the college experience, but having these other experiences that most people will never have.
Yes, I've been fortunate that Miss Val and the coaching staff, they let me, go travel during fall, during preseason, and get to experience that side of things while I'm still trying to balance school and gym and be with my team, but at the same time still live the year after Rio.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it so much.
Thanks
Love
for
it.
having
And
me.
congratulations
Yeah,
again on your
congratulations.
Thank
induction.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice color.
Thank you. Good to
Beautiful.
You're welcome. Good to see you. Welcome back to LA.
So good to see you.
You're getting your southern accent back a little bit more.
Because I've been in Texas.
Right, because you've been in
Have
Texas
you?
all summer.
So wait, is it Rangers?
Yes.
That's your
They're
team.
They're playing the Angels on Monday.
Are you gonna be there?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Of course she
Okay.
is.
Big fan. She's a
Who
big
is
Rangers
that
fan.
stunning, gorgeous creature standing in the wings.
Have another
Goodness
amazing
gracious
athlete,
sakes
Alicia
alive.
Sacramone.
ASAC, dang girl, you just get better.
Motherhood
and
is
better
treating you
and
well.
Better and better.
It's gone like a fine wine. I get better with
You do. You do.
Okay, proper introduction. Alicia Sacramone, who took my title for most world
Shannon.
medals.
There you
Hey,
go.
you got to do it.
Love it.
Records are meant to be broken, right?
Simone took it from me like 5 minutes later, so it was fine.
Well, she took it all like 5 minutes later, but that's okay. No, you had an amazing career, and one of the things I loved about your career is you did things that I could never do, like speak up, and just you were just so powerful. I was never the power athlete, and just to watch you vault, it was just stunning. It's amazing the power you had. It was incredible.
Thank you. I envied you a lot. I mean, I struggled on bars and beam so much. And I was like, she makes it look so effortless and easy. I want to be able to do that. But I love floor and vault. I love coaching it. I love competing it. So for me, it's safe.
I remember when I was recruiting her. I remember when I was recruiting you. And we're at dinner, and she says, do I have to do all around? I'm like, yeah.
I was so
And
upset.
she says, do I have to do bars? I'm like, yes.
It's all around, Alicia. I was like,
That's in the all around,
There
Alicia.
are 4 events.
can I just vault twice? Does that count as all 4?
Yeah. She's like, I'll do vault and floor twice. Really? I'm like, no, you got to do bars. You got to do all around.
And then they took bars away from me, and I was like, oh, it's okay. This specialist, I'd love to.
Oh, you know what? I loved that. I feel like, as an outsider, just watching that you helped other athletes, younger athletes, realize that they didn't have to stop right away. That you came back and you did so so strongly and so professionally, and you worked at it and you trained and you just did everything you had to do, and I think having them see that work ethic and having them see that drive and that, hey, you don't have to quit when you're 17. There's longevity in the sport more so than most people think.
100%. I talked about it today and the Grander Summit. I was like, age is just a number. Like, I think everybody thinks they need to be done and go to college and go on this direct path of what everybody else does. And I wanted to create my own path. And honestly, my best gymnastics was when I was in my mid to early 20s. It wasn't when I was 14, 15, 16. I was still trying to figure out how to compete and find my confidence. And I was like a train wreck. Like, I would do one perfect routine and be like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing I've ever seen, and then I would do like 84 bad ones like right after. So it took me a long time to find my stride, and then once I figured it out, I was like, well, I guess I could keep going with this a little bit longer.
I have to say that when I was first talking with the producer for Jump, Jive, and Thrive, one of the things that I just thought about immediately was you and Sam and Jordan and like an older generation, right? But getting you involved with this because you are thriving is as you continue to get older. And one thing that you and Sammy do is the Gympire. And would you share with us what that is about and why you're doing it?
So the Gympire was conceived out of like us looking for motivation from each other to
Sam
work
Pescic.
out.
Sam
Samantha
Pescic,
Pescic.
yeah.
My little partner in crime. So we were having a hard time staying
Everybody
motivated.
is your partner in crime, ASAC.
Well, then there's a point you have to ask whether it's you.
Am I the partner in crime? Am I the crime? It's really a tough toss-up at this point.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I bring out the best in people.
You do
You
bring up
do. We're kidding.
any way you want to spin it, baby.
Yeah, that's what I tell myself to sleep
Okay.
at night. But the Gympire, we're working forward to have it be a gymnastics-inspired fitness like routine and regimen that you can do anywhere. It's body weight and kind of like a Pure Barre-esque, but with gymnastics instead of ballet.
You are very inspiring.
Thank you. I
Well,
try.
Yeah.
And you just had a baby.
I did.
So
I had a
she's-
little girl.
So you've kept up with fitness. No, your little girl is adorable. So follow her on Instagram because it's
Thank
just
you.
the sweetest thing. Sloan,
Little Sloan Scott Quinn.
and she's
a
like a
cutie.
little spitfire.
Oh my gosh,
She's a handful.
Karma's coming back to me for all those years that I was like sassy and talking about. I'm like, oh no, Mom, I'm not doing that. She's one and we fight. She's like, ah. I'm like, can you stop yelling at me? I'm giving you your food.
So
Please don't fight me again."
who's the disciplinarian in your house?
Me. Brady's like, she's just so sweet. Look at her. I just want to love on her all day. And I'm
She's
like,
wrapped
she's
already.
getting time out. She just bit me. So she's one. She doesn't understand.
Does Brady ever lose his cool?
Oh yeah.
He
He
does?
doesn't do it in public though. Like I do it in public because I'm Italian and I'm a hothead. He does it like behind closed doors when no one's around, and then he says ridiculously mean things. I'm like, people heard you. They wouldn't like you very much. He's like, that's why only you hear me. And I was like, okay, fair.
Because I see him like this.
He's very even keel.
Very impure. Yeah.
He has to make up for my lack of even keel. So.
What is your husband like?
He's very even keel. He's just,
I have even keel.
yeah.
What is
And
that?
I'm married to an Italian, which is strange that he's so even keeled. It's because it's very
Yeah,
un-Italian.
that's very uncommon. Usually we're real fiery.
So how excited are you to be a part of Jump, Jive, and Thrive?
I'm so excited. I
Yes?
feel like I don't get to do many of these things anymore.
Are
now.
you going to be sassy?
Yes, of course.
Can you flip?
Yeah. I think so. I did a front tuck the other day on
You did?
double track, and I can still do beam.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what they need to have a
Ish.
tumble track there. They need to have, that's what they need to have.
We need to have a tumble
For all
track.
us old fogies.
Are we gonna get a pit?
We need to
I can do something.
Can
to
we get a pit? Can
We
we
need
get
a
a
tumble
tumble track, trampoline,
I'm gonna design the set.
Trampolines.
It'll be great.
double mini,
Yes.
water landings,
And a lot of water, yeah, and fans.
and EMT standing
Yes.
close by.
And fans.
Yes.
No, I'm very, very excited about your number.
Do you know what? Do you already know what the number is?
Yes, I do. It's all up here.
Can't wait.
But
Can't
we
wait
can't
to
tell
see
It is
yet.
about girl empowerment. Who runs
Love
the
that.
world, you know? It's,
I do.
You know,
Did you hear that?
you do. We're just
You
living in
do.
your world.
I try to make it
I'm
entertaining
so
for
glad to
everybody.
be in her
guys.
world.
I am too.
Thank you for having us in your world.
I do what I can to please, guys. I do.
So,
She
okay.
wants her own spot in the show. Whatever she wants. Okay.
Whatever she was thinking it. So, okay, last question. But you talked about hitting that one awesome routine and falling 85 times. So for all of the gymnasts or aspiring gymnasts out there, talk about failure. How many times we fail along the way.
Everybody just sees or envisions like, oh, they have their team and they go and it's perfect. Like there's 100, if not more, repetitions of that same skill, that routine at practice every day. And you think when you go to a meet, they're like, oh, that's fine, they're not going to fall. And then sometimes you have your biggest falls or worst falls at the biggest competition. So that happened to me at the Olympics. I didn't want to fall once. If I'm going out big. I'm going to fall again
Go
and
big.
really just make it
Go big or go home.
for at
You
least
know what?
3 years
I have-
following.
I just say I was doing a solo once, obviously on stage by myself. That's what a solo is. And ridiculous statement. And like 10 spotlights. And I'm doing step, high kick. We were talking about we're not flexible. And on point. And my point shoe comes right out. And from underneath me, I land smack on my tailbone, which I can't get up quickly from. And seriously, I know it was like everybody in the theater. And I got up and I kind of like just brushed it off. I did a little curtsy and finished it. And it was the only time I personally got a standing ovation.
Oh my
Because I was just real.
Yes.
You know, I was real on stage and they saw, like especially ballerinas and gymnasts, and you think it's so effortless and that they can do it anytime you want. And they saw the human side of it,
Oh yeah,
which was
people
so
love that,
important.
and they relate to
Well,
it.
and you know what? I think people see you get back up. They want to see
Right.
it. Everyone's going to fall. Everyone's
Right.
going to fail. And we talk about cancer. We talk about this show, Jump, Jive, and Thrive. Everyone's going to have that moment where stuff happens. But do you get back up?
Right.
What do you do with that
I love the
situation?
Japanese proverb, fall down 7 times, get up 8.
That's right.
That's all that matters.
Absolutely.
All that matters is, will you get up?
That's right.
Do you know that we keep getting the wind
I
up
know.
over here?
Alicia, thank
I
you
know.
so much for
My
joining
pleasure.
us.
Thanks
We
for
really
having me, guys.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. You are stunning.
We could just talk for hours
Yeah.
with everybody.
Exactly.
Good to see you.
Exactly.
So we've got like 5 minutes left. So we got to
Okay.
talk a little bit about the show, and as you mentioned at the top, we're both sisters as survivors and thrivers, as well as gymnastics and dance.
Right.
And this show, Jump, Jive, and Thrive, it's coming up October 21st on CBS, so make sure to tune in. Follow us on social media. You can get us at Jump, Jive, in Thrive, and also website jumpjiveandthrive.com, and we'll put that on our social media
And
as
I'm
well.
so excited that it's going to be filmed in Poly Pavilion.
Yes.
So in my home, on the UCLA campus, and we will be selling tickets, and we know that it's going to be packed.
It is. And
we
it's-
already get thousands upon thousands of people to come to our gymnastics meets, and now we're going to have Olympians and musicians and professional dancers and all of them in Poly. It's going to be an amazing night of energy.
It's a night of energy and celebration, and anyone who has gone through cancer or who has had a loved one or a friend, a coworker, we all know someone who's gone through a cancer diagnosis, and this is an opportunity to come together to celebrate life and to truly say, you know what, cancer, we're not having it.
Right.
We are going to figure out a way. We're going to move forward. We're going
Right.
to do it together, and this is a great way to start that conversation.
It really is. And it's like we said, everybody on the planet Earth has been touched by it in some way or form. Is that right? Did I say that right?
Something
Something like that.
That was good enough.
And,
we don't know what she means.
And whether it's your family or friends or their parents or their grandparents, and it's weird how it binds us. And I know that you do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of speaking. I don't get into my discussion about cancer until the end of it. And when I do is really when you feel the energy in that room just come together, because everybody is touched by it. And I can't tell you, like my story is not a sad story. But I can't tell you how many people are just wiping away tears because it touches so many of us. And it's really important. Shannon and I have talked about this from the moment we started talking about this show, how important it is to celebrate life, to celebrate every day, and not just live, but to thrive, and to figure out how to do that every day.
Absolutely. And I think talking about it, being open about it, really helped me. Not everyone's ready to do that, but I will say, my mother is a cancer survivor. Being able to talk to her about her experiences and what she felt and what she was going through, and even post-treatment, what she felt, what she was going through. But I think getting stories out there, hearing from people, is so important, because we see that cancer isn't the death sentence that it used to be.
No.
Cancer is something that we keep fighting. We fight it every day. Amazing things are happening every day in the cancer world, and we just have to keep fighting until it no longer exists.
It really isn't. And when I was diagnosed, it was super important for me to address my student athletes, because when my mother died of cancer about 30 years ago, it was the big C. It was the death sentence. And I wanted my student athletes to know, no, it's little c. No, and I'm going into warrior mode, and this thing is going away. And it's like, if my life is this pie, this big pie, cancer's this much of it right now, I'm still going to be thrilled about every other part of my day. And I chose to just have an amazing experience, even through the yuck. I used to call going to the chemotherapy as my chemo spa, because a spa is someplace you go to get better and to feel better. And the girls, I remember Sam Pescick saying, I appreciate you putting this positive spin on it, Miss Val, but you don't have to keep the face up for us. And I was like, no, this is real. This is real. I get to go get chemotherapy because it's going to kill the cancer cells in my breast, and then I'm going to be amazing and thriving.
Well, I tell you, I was talking to Chris Waller, coach at UCLA, last night, and he said, the thing about Val is she's got two amazing assets. The first is she's not afraid to fail. I mean, think about that. We're all afraid to fail, and it holds us back from going forward and doing things and trying things. She's not afraid to fail. It's just not even in her world.
It's not in the dance world. That's why.
It's not in
That's why you love dancing and you love ballet so much, because it allowed you to do your thing without a fear of quote-unquote failure.
That's right. And when you're not afraid to fail, there's asset two is you'll try anything. And you keep going day after day. When you're not afraid to fail, you can move forward. And I think that's also what the show is all about. It's moving forward. It's taking it one step at a time. It's those baby steps some days. It's the marathon the next. But it's all about moving forward and doing that together.
And you know what I like about our show as well? It's not all, we don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet to it, but it's not just about female gymnasts, cancer survivors. There's going to be, like you said, Scott Hamilton will be your co-host. And we have a few other people, celebrities that we're talking to that are not gymnasts, that just want to be a part of this. And so to be able to bring them in as our family, and somehow to bring this all together through music and dance and energy in a beautiful arena is going to be so much fun.
Huge celebration. We are going to have so much fun. I can't wait to hear what Val has in store for me, but we'll get to that later. We hope that you all join us October 21st on CBS for Jump, Jive, and Thrive, and make sure to follow us on jumpjiveandthrive.com and on social media at Jump, Jive, in Thrive. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.